You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Secretary General of the National Election Committee, Tepnita, spoke approvingly of the number of people who went to the polls for the 7th National Assembly election on Sunday. He insisted that the high voter turnout showed that Cambodians understand the value of democracy, despite efforts by CPP opponents to thwart the election process. Speaking at a post-election briefing last night, Tepnita emphasized that some people's attempts to protest Cambodia's election process was unsuccessful, although he did not name names or parties. He said, quote, "We can see that there is a movement that dissuades people from coming to the polls. There is a movement to spoil ballots, but in general, we see a lot of people coming to the polls at a high rate," end quote. Preliminary voter figures released by the NEC show that just over 8.2 million people went to the polls, representing nearly 85% of the roughly 9.7 million registered voters. While yesterday's election was largely free of incident, some polling station locations had to be moved due to groups trying to disrupt the process. Days of rain also affected some areas, where supplies had to be delivered by elephant and helicopter. Despite these minor setbacks, said NEC Chairman Praik Chan, this year's election was smooth, safe, orderly, and free of intimidation. CPP President Prime Minister Hun Sen released a message after the polls had closed and said that the high voter turnout proved that Cambodians love peace and development and have begun to withdraw support from the opposition Candlelight Party that was not permitted to run in this election. He associated the Candlelight Party with a, quote, extremist group and said, quote, "The number of people going to the polls this year is far greater than when the Candlelight Party joined in the last election. Now we are waiting to see how many ballots are spoiled because the leaders of the extremist group have made it very clear that spoiled ballots are ballots that support them," end quote. So far, the NEC has not been able to confirm the number of invalid ballots. While the official ballot count continues, the Secretary General of the NEC stated that invalid ballots will not affect the overall election outcome. While preliminary accounts have been witnessed all over the country, the official election results are not expected to be released until August 9th and September 4th, provided there are no irregularities or complaints. According to the NEC, the Cambodian People's Party is leading the counting process by a wide margin. Kristen Winters, EAC News.